at the same time, I need you to get excited because we're about to talk to a winner, okay? New Hampshire had a primary yesterday, and it was McLane Kuster versus former aide to Senator Joe Lieberman. And she was part of the establishment, but McLane Kuster was a strong progressive. She was backed by the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, very forcefully so, Democracy for America, etc. And so this set up a big question. Who's going to win? Okay? Is the establishment candidate going to win, or is the strong progressive candidate going to win? Come to find out, hey, it's the progressive candidate who won, and she joins us now. Ann, thank you for joining us. My first question to you is, how badly did you beat your opponent?
That is very generous. We were quite successful yesterday, and we received, I think the last number is, they're probably still counting a few ballots, but 72% of the vote.
Oh, damn. 72%. So
we had a great day.
It went really close, Rosie. I mean, like, you try being a corporatist, and I'll try being a progressive, see how that turns out, and come to find out that it turns out you win 72% of the vote.
Well, what was great was that we have a broad coalition. We have progressives and moderates and independents and even some fair-minded Republicans. And I think what's important is to speak to people in a very candid and honest and open way about the values that we all share. And so we talk a lot on the campaign about creating jobs and rebuilding our communities here in New Hampshire. Our economy is hurting from the recession, and people are most focused on taking care of their families, and that takes good jobs. We talk about bringing the troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan and not getting dragged in deeper into the war in Afghanistan. And people across the political spectrum want to bring the troops home. They do not want us getting dragged into a deeper war. They want to see a much more focused mission of counterterrorism that will disrupt al-Qaeda wherever we may find them, but not create a long and protracted war with the same failed mindset that dragged us deeper into Iraq. And they want to see responsibility and reform on Wall Street. They want to make sure that the big banks pay back the bailouts in full because that's their money, and they want to see it invested right here at home. And they're adamantly pro-choice, and I am the passionately pro-choice candidate. I'm an adoption attorney, and I care very strongly that the people here in New Hampshire want less government interference in people's personal lives.
And here's what I'm curious about. I want to talk to you about your upcoming race with the Republican in a second, but about how this primary went down. I'm curious as to what wound up helping you win, and obviously win so overwhelmingly. How did these different groups contribute to the campaign?
Well, they were fantastic. The progressive support both here in New Hampshire and nationally was critical to our success. We ran the truly people-powered campaign. It was a very grassroots operation. We had thousands of grassroots volunteers here in New Hampshire, many of them members of Move On and DFA and the Progressive Campaign Committee. And we that made a big difference for us. Emily's List has been very, very active in this race, as has Planned Parenthood and NARAL. I think we were the only race in the country where there was an independent expenditure with the three of them coordinating on a mailing that was very, very helpful to me with the pro-choice voters. So it was a really, as I say, it's a big tent. There are a lot of different interests. I'm endorsed by the League of Conservation Voters. I'm endorsed by unions, the firefighters, and the stagehands union and the carpenters. And so it's a number of different organizations and people coming together in a very big grassroots organization. We made 18,000 phone calls yesterday. So that'll give you a sense of the scope of the operation.
Right. But, okay, that's a good political answer. But who kicked ass the most? Which of those groups came in and said, of course I'm partly kidding, but which of the groups came in and wound up bringing the most amount of volunteers or the most amount of money that their grassroots brought in?
I'd say it's a tie. I'm not sure that we could, I mean, I'm not trying to duck the question. It's truly between the pro-choice organizations and the progressive organizations. I don't think you could unravel who did more or less. They all were a part of a incredible strategy that came together that was successful in different regions of the state. You have different strengths. Over in the western region of the state, I think organizations like Move On and DFA are very strong. The pro-choice organizations have a presence everywhere in all parts of the state. So I couldn't identify one that was necessarily put it over the top. It was the combination of all the organizations and our own. I've been campaigning for a year and a half. I've done 130 house parties around the district, and we have thousands of supporters that have never even heard of these organizations.
Of course, right. No, there's no question it's a combination, obviously, to some extent. So now, Ann, you're going to run against a Republican, obviously, in the general election in New Hampshire here for this congressional seat. And we're talking to Ann McLane Kuster. She just won the primary last night. Here's an issue I see for you. You've got a section in your bio that says community activist. And it turns out you're on the board of like 11 charities. Fox News doesn't like that at all. You trying to help folks, is that going to be an issue for you?
I can't imagine that's the way we get work done here in New Hampshire. So my whole career has been about bringing people together and getting things done. We don't have a strong central government or a strong government presence at all in New Hampshire. We provide social services and environmental services and arts and culture through our nonprofit sector. We have a very, very vibrant and strong nonprofit sector, and I'm very proud of my role as a volunteer in the nonprofit sector. So I cannot imagine that being an issue here in New Hampshire.
Do you know how you're polling against a Republican yet?
We've seen there have been public polls that are several months old. We don't have recent polling, no.
Okay, and what's going to be the main strategy here? How are you going to take the fight to the Republican?
It'll be the same grassroots strategy. It'll be the same issues, jobs, and the economy. I held a press conference with small businesses today, and it will be the same big tent. I'm actually at a dinner with a group of moderate Republicans and independents this evening, and I'll be continuing those conversations and building out. 42% of this district is registered what we call undeclared or independent here in New Hampshire. So we will be taking our message of bringing change to Washington and a new approach and putting people first for a change, not politics as usual. And that message will resonate across the spectrum, and we'll get more and more voters engaged and involved that did not participate in the primary and will participate on November 2nd and vote for our team.
All right, Ann McLane Kuster, the new winner in the primary, Democratic primary last night, and now a congressional candidate in New Hampshire. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yep, CusterForCongress.com and Custer's with a K, but check it out and join us. Thank you.
All right, there you have it, CusterForCongress.com. Thank you. We will be right back.